Welcome to week number 9. Today we're going to talk about how to design the cover of your book. And if there's one piece of advice that trumps everything else I say in this video, it would be this: hire a designer. Do not try to do this yourself. Even if you are a designer, you may want to hire somebody who designs book covers for a living. It's both an art and a science, and you need to know what the heck you're doing. Do not hire your 13-year-old nephew who has their own YouTube channel and a Mac either, okay? Hire a professional designer. $500 is a fair price to pay. Anything below $300 will most likely be a crapshoot. George Foster, he's the leader in the field, and the last time I checked, he was charging about $3,000 for a book cover. We have some designers in KPI who will do it for about $500 for our clients, and they do a great job. They might charge a bit more if they do the spine and the back, which you're going to want them to do, but it's well worth it. Now, with regard to design, they will do what you ask them to do, so let me still share with you some do's and don'ts before you tell them the vision for your cover. Don't put your face on the cover of your book for a couple of reasons. Number one, you're not a celebrity. If you are, then fine, put the face on your cover. No problem. But if your face is not a recognized brand, it will do nothing to compel people to want to pick up your book. Number two, it's generally frowned upon in the world of authorship, so you'll lose credibility amongst other authors who otherwise would have been happy to endorse your book, and now they're kind of turned off. Don't put your company logo on the cover of your book. The book isn't about your company, it's about the people who read your book. Make the cover about them. Don't use shadows and bevels on your font treatment. You're just going to look like a book that was written in the 1990s. Don't have your name as the author so small that you can't see it on the cover. It sends, in my opinion, the wrong message. It's not the title of the book that matters the most, it's the opinion of the person who wrote the content. All right, now here are some do's to make sure that you're doing it the right way. Do make sure that your imagery, if using any, appeals to the promise of the book and the desire of the reader. Do use bold, high contrasting colors that jump off the bookshelf or the screen. Remember, you are visually competing with hundreds of books surrounding yours, usually for the exact same genre. You better stand out. Do make sure that your title is big and bold and easily read when shrunk down to a 1-inch width. Why? Because that's about how big your book is going to be on Amazon.com. And if you can't read your title that small, the shopper will pass over your book for a similar one with more legible fonts. Do make sure that your name on the cover is the same width as the title of your book. Why? Because you're a key person of influence in your industry, and you're the expert on your topic. Don't make that small. Do determine your budget for spending on graphic design based upon how you plan to distribute the book. For example, do you want to just sell your books in the back of a room after speaking events? You could probably just put a white cover on the black title saying "My Book" with your name, and people are going to buy it because they're buying it because of you, the speaker. You're the expert, not because of finding it on a bookshelf. However, if you do want to find it in bookstores, then you have to hire a graphic designer who's experienced in designing covers that are designed for bookstores. They know what colors work for which categories. They spend extra time on the spine because that's how your book will most likely be visible. With regard to the back of your cover, here's 4 do's and 1 don't. Have a description as to what will happen to the reader as a result of reading the book. Include testimonials or quotes from people who are people of influence inside your industry. Don't waste your time putting quotes or testimonials from people like Jay Smith from Orlando. That means nothing. If you have a testimonial, make sure it's from somebody people would recognize. If you have room, a very brief bio of you as the author is nice, but not if you need room for number 4. Number 4 is teaser quotes to entice them to want to open the book and read. So something like, "Want to lose 50 pounds in 5 weeks?" Page 34. "What's the most common thing to spot in a terrorist?" Page 43. "What are the 3 worst things to say on TV?" Page 198. Depending upon what the topic is, right? And finally, the don't. Do not put your picture on the back of your cover. For the same reason that you don't put it on the front. Save your picture for the inside of the book. So your task this week is simple. Hire a designer and get your cover done. Also, once you get a few design samples, pull them inside our Facebook portal or on your own Facebook page where you already have your target audiences. And lastly, I'll say this. If you're wondering where to get testimonials from, you have 2 options. First, get them from the people who previewed your book And secondly, if you don't have anybody who has read it, you can have people who can endorse you and know you already and write a testimonial about how great of a person you are. That's it for this week. We'll see you next week. Keep up the good work.